Morning. Welcome back. Who's excited to be back?
I'm not.
You're not? No?
No.
This is Samek.
What's up, Henry?
I'm very excited. I upgraded my computer.
Oh, yeah? That's what you did over
Yes.
break?
I spent $230 and upgraded my computer.
$230.
To upgrade one component so I can run VR.
Oh. How's that working out for you?
Good, I guess. It's a 1660 Super. No, 1660 Super. It's DDR6 with 6 gigs of RAM.
What does that mean?
It's a graphics card. Basically, it allows me to play video games at higher frame rates because I have a good monitor. I also found a webcam, so I can actually use my computer.
Sweet. Here's your POD. You guys can get working on that while we wait for people to log in. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. Listen, have you guys work on the POD while we wait for people? Oh, good morning, Owen.
Good morning.
Who else we got here? I can't tell who this black screen is.
Xavier. Or, wait, no. I believe it's Xavier.
Xavier, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh. Oh, what happened here? Hold on. Having some technical difficulties. All right, let's try this again. All right, so we've got Henry, Poe, Jack, Joe, Robbie, Owen, and Xavier. All right. Let's do this. All right. So see. Show. Henry. 2, 6. Oh, Noah and David, good morning. Noah, good morning. Noah, hello. No, Noah. David, good morning. Oh, there's Noah in the chat. All right. All right. Well, we're gonna get started. So you can still see those three PODs. Let's just quickly go around and let's hear from people how spring break was. What's something interesting people did? Henry already shared a little bit. Henry, you have to share again with everybody. We'll start with Henry. I'm just gonna go across my screen.
I wasted money and bought a graphics card to upgrade my computer. So now my computer can run VR. Also, I clocked in about 60 hours of Rainbow Six Siege.
Of what?
60 hours of Rainbow Six Siege.
Is that a game? I don't even know.
Yes, that's a game.
All right. Paul, what's something you did over break?
I don't know. I watched TV.
You watched
I
TV?
watched a lot of movies. Yeah.
What was the best movie you watched?
Pineapple Express.
Oh boy, old school. All right. Robbie, how about you? What's something fun or different you did over break?
I kind of just play a lot of video games, and I just watched a bunch of Marvel movies.
Marvel movie. What's your favorite Marvel movie?
Ooh, it's a hard one. That's good. I have to say Endgame.
Endgame. Okay, who's this done here? Joe Kellers, what was the best thing you did over break, or what's something you did over break? He played 300 hours of Rainbow Six Siege in. Okay, these are all things I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm gonna trust that this is a fun thing to do. Who do we got here? Simon. You're in that pile, in that box under there. All right, who's this? We got Jack. What's something good you did over break?
Slapped and played video games.
What in video games? Under the box.
Slapped.
Oh, slapped. Oh, all right. How about you, Xavier?
I just played outside.
All right, you still working on your soccer skills?
Yeah.
Good. How about you, Owen? What'd you do over break?
I went to my cabin.
Oh, where's that?
It's like by Canton.
Nice. Is there like a lake there or something?
Yeah,
Oh, that sounds really nice.
it was.
Noah says he went for a walk. He's in the chat there. I can see his answer. How about you, David? What's something you did over break? I don't know who. Who's here in the with the fan? I can't see. Does anybody know who this is? Can't. All right, we'll figure it out later. All right. All right, so hopefully David will chime in with what he did. All right, let's get to the math here. I'm here, it's just my pick. Okay. All right. Let's talk about problem number 2. This problem we were gonna solve. All right. Who thinks they can get this problem started for us? Any volunteers to get started? You could just jump in if you want to get it started for us. Anybody on how to start problem 2? What would you do first? All right, Henry.
The first thing I did was I did distributed property on the 5, on the x plus 3 multiplied by 5. So you get 5 times x, and then plus 15, and then you do minus 18. That would get you -3 on for addition. Then you have x plus -3 or x minus 3. Then for the other side, you do -1 times x times 3. So you get -1x plus -3. And then you just keep change. So you, or not keep change. You'd minus the 1 from the 6. So you get 5x. And then you'd add, then you'd have the plus 3. And so
Plus
they're
negative.
equal. They're equal.
Yeah, they're equal. They're the same thing on both sides. So, someone other than Henry, if I have 5x minus 3 is equal to 5x plus -3, what does that mean for my solution? What would my solution be here? If you have the exact same thing on both sides. Exact same thing both sides. Is that x equals some number? Is it all real numbers? Is it no solution? What's going on here? This is a negative. Woo! First class back from spring break is rough. Same thing on both sides is all real numbers. Or you could say infinite solutions. I bring that up because...
Hi, Miss Hammock. I'm sorry I'm late.
Hi, Z. Welcome.
Hi.
We're just working on our POD. Okay.
Miss Hammock, can you hear me now?
Z, do you shave your head?
Yeah, it is Caden.
All right. You were my missing person. Oh, Z, looking good, man. Fresh spring cut. All right. Okay, good. So now I've got Xavier, Poe, Robbie, Jack, Owen, Joe, Henry, Noah, David, Caden, Z. Is there anybody else here that I didn't?
Matt, we're missing Matt.
Yeah, we're missing Matt, we're missing Rock, we're missing Jamarian, we're missing a bunch of people, but is there anyone in here that I didn't call?
No.
No, okay.
Where is Matt?
Yeah, I've talked to him. So if anyone else talks to him, just maybe give him a little gentle nudge to get to class. All right. Okay, so this is all real numbers. Okay, and I bring this up because some of you are going to be doing test corrections. And I want to make sure people understand that if you have the same thing on both sides, you need to say that it's all real numbers. Okay, infinite solutions. I see a bunch of questions popping up in the group chat, and I have a whole slide on business, on homework, on the project, on everything you're going to need to know. All right, so we're just going to do 2 math problems, and then we'll get to that business. All right, so for problem 2, again, I bring this problem up because of the test. When you're starting an absolute value problem, what is the first thing you need to do in this case? Anybody?
Draw a line down the middle.
Oh, you could. That's fine. And then you're going to separate it into 2 equations. X plus 2 equals 3.5. And what's the other equation going to be? X plus 2 is equal to what? Well, we're going to think about how this inside Anything that comes out of here is positive.
Wouldn't it be negative 3.5?
Thank you, Joe. Negative 3.5. Okay. So again, I'm bringing this up because some of you are going to be working on type corrections this week. And this was one of the problems people really had trouble with, was this absolute value. Now I'm going to solve each equation. So I'm going to solve this first equation by subtracting 2, and I get x equals 1.5. And I'll subtract 2 over here, and I'll have x equals, what's negative 3.5 minus 2? Anyone can answer. You can just jump on in, say your answer. You could type it if you're Noah or David. What's negative 3.5 minus 2?
Negative 5.5.
All right, negative 5.5. So these are your two solutions. And you have two solutions because there are two things that have a distance of 3.5. You can go the positive or negative direction. And that's what absolute value means, a distance from 0, right? We want it to be negative. We could be positive 3.5 gives you an absolute value of 3.5. Negative 3.5 gives you an absolute value of 3.5. So some of you will need to do some fixing on that. All right. So let me get out of here. And I'm going to go through the business for this week. I just want to make sure everyone's really clear on what is happening this week, what you need to do this week, and so on. And it looks like my Chrome screen quit. Okay, so let me pull this back up. First of all, while this reopens, I want to share with you guys that we are going to continue with the same Monday, Wednesday program we've been doing. So I'm still going to host live class on Monday and Wednesday. It's going to be the same Zoom password, the same Zoom link as it has been.
Can it be later?
We are supposed to have class when our normal class meets, so you don't have conflicts.
Oh, that's not. A
Yeah,
lot
make
of
sure your
my
board's link
classes
is at
have
1.
Yeah.
Wait, say that again, somebody?
Make sure your board's like doing our line class like at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, he's doing it at 1 o'clock.
Oh, do you have them first period?
Yeah.
Yeah, so first period's the only exception. First period they're allowed to do later in the day.
My Spanish starts at like 11 usually, but ours is at like 10:30, which is still like a half an hour before, but still it could like intervene.
It
I
is,
guess.
that's true. And that's something that they were supposed to be working on with individual teachers to kind of clear that up, because some people were having conflicts and there's really no reason why there should be conflicts.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going to stick with the 9:30. But the thing is, if you ever miss, I am always recording this and then I post it. So if you miss, you can always watch it later. But if you're here, you do get a couple bonus points for every time you'd show up. So for some of you, it's been a really helpful thing for your grades. All right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Do we have a test on? Hold up, I don't know. Howard School says that we have a test coming up.
You do not have a test coming up for me, no. Not in math class.
Are you gonna be giving us like more work than before, or?
No. Hold
same?
on, David. David, I do want to clarify though. You don't have a test coming up, but some of the project has been worth a test grade. So it might say a test category because some of these project pieces I'm treating like a test grade to make them worth more than just a normal homework assignment. Because they take a lot more work than just a normal homework assignment.
Can you also take a look at my grades?
I'm sorry?
Can you take a look at my grades?
Yeah, I can take a look at your grade for you after class. Okay. Anything else before I move on?
No.
Are you getting more work or like the same amount of work?
You're gonna
or
get
less?
you're gonna get the same amount of work. Hold on, we got someone in the chat. How are we gonna do finals if we're still in quarantine? No, that's a great question, and we should be getting more answers to that by the end of this week. By the end of this week, the governor should be telling us whether or not we're going back to school. And once they make that decision, then we'll know more about finals. So I don't have that answer yet either. And then when I do, I will share that information with you. All right, next thing. I worked on your tests over break. And I went through your test and I made lots of comments throughout the test. So you should be able to go into your test, see your test score, and look to see what you got wrong, what you got right by my comments. Several of you scored under a 40 out of 50. Not several of you, that's not true. Whoever did score though, under 40 out of 50, you can do test corrections. All right, so I did email all of you that were in that situation, and I also put it on PowerSchool in your grade that you could do test corrections. If you're gonna do test corrections, you need to do them with Mrs. Downs. You need to email her and say, hey, I need to do test corrections, and then you and her will work together to figure out what went wrong. All right. You can just do your test corrections right on the test. You don't have any extra forms. Just make sure you highlight things that you change in bright green. So just do your corrections on the test. Work on them between today and Friday. All right, so you have till Friday to get them done. Just email me when they're done because I'm not going to go check. All right, so if you work on your corrections, just shoot me an email, Miss Samick, do my corrections, and then I will go in and work on your grades. All right, the PODs we did today, I picked specifically because several of you got those two questions wrong. All right, the one where it was all real numbers, and then the absolute value one where you have to split it into two equations. All right, so that's the business about the tests. From there, this week we're gonna continue working on, I just need to get this out of here. We're gonna continue working on our Google Sheets project. All right, I really want you to learn how to use Google Sheets because it can be so helpful for you in other classes, in just life, in so many different fields that you might go into. Using this type of software is a really important skill to have. So this week, we're gonna focus on part 3B. That's gonna be what we do in class today. 3C and D we'll do on Wednesday. And part 4 is just a reflection, so you don't need any lesson on that. So, I'm gonna walk you through part 3B today. And that'll be due tomorrow night, it'll be due. I'm making it due tomorrow night because you need that 3B in order to do 3C and 3D. So we can't move on if you don't have 3B done. So I'm gonna teach you about 3B today in class. 3C and D we'll do Wednesday in class, and those will be due Friday. There was an extra credit part, and some of you were asking me, email me about extra credit. This extra credit's pretty big because it's worth a test. They're worth test grade points. It's part 5 of the project. Now, if you go in there, you'll notice there's a math part and a non-math part. You could just do the non-math part if you wanted and get 5. I think it's 5 bonus points. But if you do the whole thing, I believe it's worth, well, we'll double check when I go into the project here in a second, but you could really put yourself in a nice position if your grade is not where you want it to be. So if things didn't go well in the test, you could do test corrections, and then anybody could do the extra credit. And I moved the extra credit. I keep moving it. But now that we are back, and now that I have a plan for the rest of April, the extra credit will be due next Tuesday. Okay, so you can have next weekend if you wanted to work on the extra credit. All right. So does anybody want to ask about any of the business before I dive into the project and show you guys what's going on with the project and how to finish up the next part? Any questions about test corrections? Any questions about extra credit? Any questions? Okay. All right. So I'm gonna open the project in a second. All right. But I just want you guys to know that on part 3A, some of you need to fix things. And I did put comments on your project. So you guys shared your project with me. I went in, looked at all of them, and I made comments to try to give you direction on what you needed to do. If you're gonna be quarantined for 30 days, you need to have more than 5 things on your grocery list, okay? You are not gonna get by with just 5 things. If you don't have at least like 20 to 25 items on your grocery list, you need to go back and really look at what you said. Like if you said you're going to eat a sandwich and you only put bread on your grocery list, well, what's going inside your sandwich? Is it turkey and cheese and mustard? Then you need those other items on your grocery list. If you're going to eat cereal, you can't just have 1 box of cereal for 30 days. It's not going to last.
You
On
can
my
just
stomach
put
is
nothing
frozen.
on your sandwich.
Whoa! 1 person at a time. Go for
Does
it.
frozen food like count?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you can buy a frozen pizza. You could buy frozen vegetables, frozen burrito, whatever you want. Rock, yes, this is the same project as we were working on before break. Yes. All right. Next thing, when you make your list, everything needs to be on its own line. All right. So that's the thing about Google Sheets or Excel is this is a program to help you calculate stuff. So in order to calculate something, each data point must be on its own line. So some of you are trying to put all your dairy on one line, and I'll show you in a moment what that looks like. For those of you who I wrote a note about using the calculator, some of you were doing the math by hand. Like you were like busting out your calculator and calculating like how much the pizza would cost if you bought 3 frozen pizzas. Google Sheets and Microsoft Excel do that math for you. And that's part of this project is understanding how to program it so it will do the math for you. So a couple of you, if you got 10 out of 10 on part 3A, you like use the Google calculator, use the calculator, you're in good shape. But there are a couple of you that you'll see in your comment that you made a nice list, but then you didn't use the feature that actually does the math for you. And that's the purpose of this project, right? Is to help you understand how to do that. So I will review that here in a moment. I also made a video last week on how to do that. And I saw that 3 of you watched it, which was a real plus that people are actually watching it. So I will post these slides and make sure you have access to that video again. Okay, I take you step by step through on how to use the calculator. I also have a sample project that I'm going to post, so you can, if you want to just go in and look at the sample project, you can do that. All right, so I will do a brief review of 3A in a moment. And then with part 3B, that's the part that's going to be due Tuesday night. I actually made a book for you on how to do 3B. I was just trying to think about how can I break this down even further, because sometimes the video, like right now we're in class, it goes too fast. So I did make you this book. This is what I did over break, is I learned how to make books. And what it does is you will see on this book. Can you guys see the book right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So what the book does is it breaks down the project, and it has little mini videos that will take you through everything I'm going to show you here in class today. If like it's too fast or you didn't catch something, it like actually opens up these little videos and will like take you through how to do each part of Project 3B. All right. So I've worked pretty hard on this to try to get this, try to make it easier for people who are having trouble with how to do these things in Google Sheets. So there are some demos, there's some images. If you're having trouble, please try to use this as a resource, and you can always email me if you're stuck. All right. All right, I think, okay, hold on here. All right. So that is it for kind of the business. I will now show you a demo of part 3A and 3B. So now there are a couple of you, or actually maybe just one of you, who already has 3A, 3B done and you're good to go. Joe, I think that's you. So Joe, you are good to go. If you want to bounce, you may, if you're still here. Are you still here, Joe? That's the part that's due Wednesday. So Joe, you're already in good shape. You're ready to go. All right. So you're welcome to stay if you want, but don't feel like you have to. And then on Wednesday, Joe, we'll go over parts 3C and 3D, the pie chart and the bar chart. Okay. So for the rest of you, I have my sample project, and I will show you how to do part 3B. So first of all, part 3 is down here. Can everybody see my sample project? Can someone give me a thumbs up if you can see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So on this project, first of all, the 3A, this is what your list should look like. Well, yours are even longer. This is just my little sample list. All right. You'll notice like I have milk and dairy here. Okay. With my milk. Do I have any other milk and dairy? I don't have any other milk and dairy, but I do have like multiple dry good. I have black beans, and dry good, I have spaghetti. Like you can have, if you have multiple of the same category, you just need to pick the category. So if I had, you know, another thing of milk and dairy, I wanted to buy a yogurt, and I'm going to buy 5 of them. You know, this is one container. I'm going to buy 5 of them. I know because I'm always buying my yogurt at Giant Eagle. They're $1.19 a piece. Okay. So, you know, you're going to put just that one item on the line. And that's where some of you were a little confused. Some of you were trying to jam everything into like the one drink category. All right. And here is the calculation part that some people are confused with. So in this part where it says total cost, this column here, some of you were doing the math, like you were getting your phone out and you're doing like 5 times $1.19 and then putting the answer here. But the whole point of this is to use the functionality of Google Sheets. So does anybody remember, and some of you did a nice job on this, okay? Some of you are in good shape here. Can anyone tell us what you would do to actually calculate 5 yogurts times $1.19? What do you actually do to figure that out? Can anybody tell me what I would type? You can just shout it out if you know it. What do you type to actually have it do that calculation for you? Some of you had it. I know you did. you're gonna type the equal sign. And then I'm gonna click the 5. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna zoom in so people can see. Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna type the equal sign here, and I'm gonna type 5, or I'm gonna click the box with the 5, and then the multiplication sign is Shift 8, because that's my times, the asterisk, and then $1.19. And then I hit enter, and it does the calculation for me. All right, and the nice thing about Google Sheets, I'm just gonna clear all this out for a second and just demo that when you're doing this and you make your list, and for the first thing, my milk, like I'm gonna get 3 gallons of milk, and I hit my equal sign, oops, let me get in that box up there. I hit my equal sign, and I click the 3 for the 3 items times $2.49, and I hit enter. And now I get that price. If I just drag this little square all the way down my list, it's gonna copy that calculation for all my items, okay? And again, that's what makes this tool powerful, is you can do these calculations pretty easily. All right, so now I've got all of these values on my list already, okay? And all my calculations are done. And that was part 3A, was just getting your, I shouldn't say just, it did take some time to get pick your categories, get your list, get your prices, and then do your costs. All right, so some of you are in pretty good shape. Some of you need to go back and do some work on this, all right? And when I grade your part 3B, I'll look at your list on 3A, and I will update your grades from 3A once you fix them for 3B, all right? So if you got a 7 or an 8 or a 5 or a 2 or a 0, I will go back and change your grades with no penalty once you fix them. All right. Does anyone want to ask any questions about part A before I show you how to do part B? Okay. All right. So for part B, all right, I want to know how much I spent per category. All right. So I want to know how much did I spend in total for, let's say, my vegetables. So in order to do this, I have already put on your Google Sheet something called a filter. So a filter allows you to sort by category, or sort by alphabetical order, or sort by high to low if it's a number. You can sort by any way you want using something called a filter. So this, you know what, let me see if this will work while we're talking. Let's try this. Okay. You know what? Forget it. All right. So this little triangle right here, that shows you that I've already put a filter on this, this spreadsheet for you. So you don't have to do it. Just for future reference, I'm going to take the filter off. This is the filter button. It looks like a funnel, right? When you're like funneling oil or funneling something into a smaller container. I'm just going to turn it off and turn it back on. If I wanted to sort categories, I put a filter on. And then those little triangles appear, those little filters appear. And I want to filter by category. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to drop my category, and I'm going to just say, put them in alphabetical order for me. And now it is organized by baking good, baked good, baking. Here are my 3 cereals, my 2 dry goods, my 2 frozens, my milk and dairy. So if I have multiple of a certain category, it is sorted for me. So I don't have to go through and say, well, where are my vegetables? Here's a vegetable, here's a vegetable. It's gonna just do that for you when you filter. All right, and that's a pretty powerful tool. All right, so from here, my first category is vegetable. So what you can do is you can tell it, hey, go add these things up for me and put the total in this spot, which is a really nice feature of Google Sheets. So I look down here, I have 3 vegetables. So I'm gonna tell Google Sheets, I'm gonna hit an equal sign. Anytime you want it to do math, you always start with an equal sign on Google Sheets. So I hit my equal sign, and I'm gonna tell it I want you to add these things up. And the addition word for add things up is the word sum, S-U-M. So you'll notice I just typed equal sign S-U-M saying, hey, Google Sheets, add these things up. I open up parentheses, and then I tell it what I want it to add by just highlighting the boxes I want it to add up. So you can see down at the bottom, I have those 3 boxes highlighted. I close my parentheses. So equal sign, sum, S-U-M, open parentheses, highlight your boxes, close your parentheses, hit equal, and now I have $11.34 is how much I spent on vegetables. Okay, now the thing about this this Google Sheet process that I'm showing you is it's assuming this list is set, okay? There are other ways to do this. There are fancier ways to do this. But for now, I'm just trying to teach you the basics. And so this is just a real basic way to do it. And you couldn't go back and add a bunch of things to your list afterwards. If you wanted to do that, there are fancier ways to do this. But for now, we're just gonna do the basics. So I'm gonna show you this for a few of these items. I have my fruit. Here's my fruit category. I'm gonna look for my fruit. Oh, I bought apples and bananas. I have 2 fruit items here. So I hit my equal sign. I type S-U-M for sum, open parentheses, and then I go and grab my 2 fruit prices, close my parentheses, hit enter, and I spent $9 on fruit. Milk and dairy, I hit my equal sign, S-U-M, open parenthesis. I highlight my 2 milk and dairy, hit enter. Now baked good is a category where I only have 1 item. So I can just hit my equal sign and say, hey, go get that baked good price. So I hit my equal sign, G3 is my baked good price, and I just hit enter. Okay, so at the end of these entries, I'm hitting the enter key, which you just can't see what I'm typing. All right, let's do a canned good. Canned good, do I have any canned good? I only have 1 canned good. I bought some spaghetti sauce. So I hit my equal sign. I go type in 278, or I go highlight the box. I just clicked the box. And you can try this on your own project right now as I'm talking. All right, so Jamarian is lost. He's so confused. Jamarian, which part can I re-explain to you?
I know he's gonna say that.
Everything. Okay, well, I'm gonna do a couple more. And hopefully this will connect. All right, my dry good. So here I am in this box right here for dry good. I look over here, here are my 2 dry goods. I bought black beans and I bought spaghetti. So I only care about the total price. Okay, I only care about this $1.79 and this 2. And again, everyone in their heads can add up $2 plus $1.79. But the point of this project is to help you understand how to use these features of Google Sheets. So if I want to get this total, I hit my equal sign. And in the Google Sheet world, if you want to add something up, you use SUM for sum, like answer to an addition problem. I open my parentheses and I say, okay, add up these two things, close my parentheses, and I hit enter. I actually have to do this for the rest of these items. So you should open your sheet and get yours started while I finish this up, because I deleted everything and we need the total to do the percentage. All right, so baking and spice, I hit my equals, I hit my baking and spice. Condiments. What's a condiment?
Dip.
Like ketchup, mustard, a dip, all right? Like hummus, guacamole, those are condiments. Frozen foods, what do I have for frozen foods? I've got two things. Frozen fruit is expensive, I've learned. Oh, I forgot to add them up.
That frozen food at the dollar store.
Yeah, at the dollar store. I'm trying to avoid stores. So I try to just go to one store and that's it. All right, drinks. I got some Gatorade. Drinks. I only bought one thing. Water. Water's free. You don't need bottled water. I live in the city of Cleveland. I drink that tap water. All right. Cereal. I got 3 boxes of cereal, so I have to type equals, my SUM. Housekeeping. Some of you need more housekeeping. Some of you didn't buy toilet paper. All right, housekeeping. Oh, someone bought a dog on theirs. That was really fun for your pet. So, pet, I just need a dog food, health and beauty, shampoo, snack. Ooh, Cool Ranch Doritos. Oh man, I wish I had some Cool Ranch Doritos. All right, and some popcorn kernels. And then other, I don't have anything for other, but if you do, you can put it in there. All right, so now I have all my totals, and now I want my grand total. So I want to add a bunch of stuff up. So anytime you want to add stuff up, what command are you going to use? What word means add stuff up?
Oh, some.
Sum, very good. So I'm going to type equals. Here, I'm going to zoom in on this so people can see. Whoop. Maybe 200 is a little extreme. All right. All right, so I'm going to type equals and then SUM for sum, open parentheses, and then I'm going to tell it what I want to add up. I want it to add up all these boxes. So you can see what's nice about this is it kind of floats around for you. So I want to add up column J, cell 3, all the way through 18, right? That was the other category. And I close my parenthesis and hit enter. And so I spent $160.56. Yours are generally going to be more expensive, okay? My list was pretty small. I didn't do the whole thing. I just wanted to make enough categories so you guys could see how to pick your category, enter your item, and do your totals. All right, so you're gonna get your grand total. So I have $160.56. All right, and then I asked you for, okay, if I spent $160, I want you to think about like, well, what percent am I spending on snacks? What percent am I spending on drinks? Like if you're spending like 40% of your food is on like Gatorade and Body Armor, that might be a problem, right? You might need to say, wow, I maybe need to cut back on the extras and think about what's necessary. So, and again, this is just to help you understand how to use Google Sheets, right? So when we're doing a percent, right? I'm just gonna type over here just so you can see what I'm thinking about. If I'm doing a percent, I want a part divided by a total, and then times 100, okay? Well, Google Sheets actually has a feature that I don't even need this times 100 part. I can just tell it, hey, Google, make this a percent, which is pretty cool. For the total is always the same number, right? Our total, my total in this case is this $160. Wasn't it just $100? Okay, $160. I thought it was something else. All right, $160.56. That's always my total. And I want to do percents for all these different numbers. So I'm going to use an equation. I hit my equal sign. Owen, yes, we will be done in 10 minutes. And if you have to go, Owen, just go. But we should definitely be done. I also have a meeting at 10:30, so that's
Okay.
so we'll be done. All right, so if I want to do a percent, I do my part, which is my my vegetable, divided by my total, which is this number down here. All right, percent divided by total is going to, or part divided by total gives you what your percent is going to be when you multiply by 100. But I'm going to tell Google afterwards that it's a percent. Now here's the one special thing that you need to know about Google Sheets. Because we want to use the same formula over and over and over, but I always want to divide by J19, right? J19 is my total, this box down here, column J, row 19. I'm always going to divide by J19. We need to use these dollar signs in front of the J and in front of the 19. That's just an anchor. It's saying always divide by this, because I can drag this box down and it's going to do the percents for every single thing. But I always want to divide by J19. If you don't do that, what it's going to do is it's going to drop a box every time it divides. So it's going to end up dividing by 0, which is, if you drag it and you get a divide by 0 error message, that's why. But I explain more about that in the book. But for now, you're going to take your part divided by your total, and you got to put dollar signs in front of your total, your dollar sign letter, dollar sign number. Mine's already set to do percents. In order to make it a percent, you go into data. Yeah, I can do it again. Give me 1 second and I'll do it again. Because I already set this up to demo it, in data, or I'm sorry, format, number, I already marked mine as percents. I'll just mark them as numbers for a second. So if I mark those as numbers, 0.07, if I go into format, number, and then I make it a percent, it'll turn it into a percent for me, and then I can just drag it down. And then it turns everything into a percent. So that's the nice thing, because it'll put a percent sign and everything on there for you. All right, so I will do it again for people who want to see it again. All right, I'm going to take my part, which is my 1134. So I hit my equal sign. I take my part, divide it by my total. My total's down here. And because I always want to divide by the same number, even though I'm going to do drinks and cereal and pets and housekeeping, I'm going to change up what I'm doing, but I always want to divide by the 160. I put a dollar sign in front of my J and a dollar sign in front of my 19. I was going to use those for my meeting.
You're gonna use them?
Yeah, so then he can talk regular.
Oh.
Yeah. $ in front of J, $ in front of 19, hit enter, and you'll see it's the percent. And then you drag the box and it'll fill in your other ones for you. So this part B, these two columns are what you need done for Wednesday. All right. So if anyone was working on this with me, like if you already opened yours up, some of you needed to do some work around here first before you could get into that. So if you need to go, you can go. If you would like to ask questions, go ahead and ask any questions that you might have about that part B. And also in the book, there's little step-by-step videos. So would anybody?
So 3B's due tomorrow by night, like by 12, right?
Yeah. Well, don't try to do it by 8. Don't do it at midnight, but yeah, you just need it done for class on Wednesday. So I'll probably go check them around 9 p.m. to make sure people are done, so they're ready for parts 3 and C and D, or we'll do little charts about your spending. All right, Jamarian, you're still having questions about everything? Jamarian? Okay. Jamarian, do you understand how to get the total? Oh, I guess I need to share my screen. All right, before I walk through the whole thing again with Jamarian, does anyone want to ask any specific question? Any smaller questions? Otherwise, I will do it again with Jamarian. Okay. All right, let me share my screen again. All right. Let's start from, hold on 1 second. We're going to start from the total cost. So I would recommend everyone open their own sheet and do it with me. All right. So open your sheet. We'll put a couple items in it if you don't have items in there already, and then you can do it with me so that you have yours done. Okay. All right, so here we go. So this is your job to do, right? You pick a category. I was putting bread on here. So bread is a baked good. If you put bread in frozen because you buy frozen bread, that's fine as long as you pick a category. You say what size it is. It's a loaf. I bought 3 loaves of bread. They were each 99 cents. So in order to do the total cost, I needed to hit an equal sign. And then I want 3 loaves, and then shift 8 times 99 cents. Okay, and that's it's the same formula for the entire grocery list. To find your total price, you're gonna take how many items you bought multiplied by the price. So 3 loaves of bread times 99 cents a piece. I hit enter, I've got $2.97 just for my bread. I don't want to type that 30 more times. And that's the power of Google Sheets. I can take this green box, like I'll just erase these for you. I can take this blue box, I think I said green, blue box, and just drag it. Just hold and drag, and it's gonna copy that formula for every single line. All right, so it's gonna do the same thing. It's gonna multiply column E times column F all the way through. So Jamarian, with that, where'd my chat go? Does that part make sense now? Just the total cost part. Okay, great. All right. So then we're going to go to our totals for each category. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to mix this up again. All right. So in order to add up the categories, I need my categories to be grouped together. So it's going to be a lot easier to add up categories when they are all on the list together. So I'm going to click this triangle and I'm going to sort this category. I'm going to pick sort A to Z. That means it's going to start with the letter A, pick any category with the letter A, which I don't have. But baking will show up first. Bye, Owen. Let me know if you have any questions. All right. So baked good now comes up first, then baking and spice, canned goods, cereals. So that's just called a sort. I already had the filter on there. You don't have to put the filter on. It's already there for you. I just sorted my list. So now it's ready. So now if I go to vegetable, all right, so now for vegetable, that threw all my numbers off because now it thinks I bought no vegetables. So for vegetable, bye Jack. For vegetables, I'm gonna hit my equal sign in vegetable, and I'm gonna say add up all my vegetable prices. So I'm gonna type the letters SUM, okay? That's an answer to an addition problem. I open my parentheses, and then I go down to my vegetables, and I see I have $3.50 here and $1.86. So I just drag so both of those are highlighted. So I'm just holding and dragging, and then I end my parentheses. So equal sign, open parenthesis, equal sign, the word sum, open parentheses, highlight your boxes that you want to add up, close your parentheses, and then hit enter or return. And it's going to tell you how much you spent on vegetables. I do the same thing for fruit. For something where I only bought one of them, like baked good. For baked good, I hit my equal sign and I just click the baked good price, and I'm just telling it, hey, go take that number. And the nice thing is then you don't mess up with typing. It's less room for error in how you hit enter. Okay, I have a 10:30 meeting, so I have to get off. But Jamarian, if you would like to set up a time for later today, or anybody else on here that you would like to talk some more, just let me know now.
Miss Hammer.
Yeah.
So for the for part 3, we did like total cost. If we had the dollar sign, would that interfere in any way
No.
or not? Okay.
Oh, I don't think so. Like when you had the total, let me see. I don't think it will. I think it'll just already know it's $1. So
Okay.
I think it'll just put dollar signs probably on your total spent.
All right.
Okay. If it does give you trouble, you can highlight your total cost, go to format, number, and just say plain text, and it'll change all your
Okay.
dollars to non-dollars. But I think it should still be fine.
Okay.
Okay. Jamarian, I am free. I have office hours for Walton Center. I don't know if you saw that in the announcements, starting at 12. So you could come at 12 with the same Zoom link. Or I can meet you after 12, after 1. Do you want to do 12 or you want to come at a different time? Okay. Yeah, so just use the same link, Jamarian, and come in at 12. Okay. All right. David, how about you?
Dynamic.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the question?
Do you understand what's going on, or do you need extra time?
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay. All right, David. I'm gonna get off then because I have to go to my meeting. All right.
Okay.
I'll see you. Have a good day.
You too.